On the channel, San Diego Comic-Con is upon us, and I got my famous San Diego Comic-Con shirt ready to go. In today's video, I'm discussing WWE Mattel, what I want, what I hope to see.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another wish list what I hope to see video. And today we're diving into San Diego Comic-Con 2025 and what I hope to see from the Mattel line. We're talking retros, we're talking superstars, we're talking ultimate editions, we're talking main events, and we're even talking a little bit of elites, of course. But of course, we're going to San Diego Comic-Con, and when I say we, I mean me and good friend of the channel, Jeff George, of course. We'll be boots on the ground over there. We'll be at the WWE panel. We'll be checking out all the kind of stuff. We'll be at a lot of events. We're going to maximize our minutes. I'm there Wednesday through Saturday morning, and then Saturday morning flying to Chicago, going to the AEW show that night. Sunday, King County Toy Show. No rest for the wicked, Ozzy Osbourne style, or maybe Striper style here today, as normally I'd say all Striper fan, but no, I got my San Diego Comic-Con colors on. No Striper involved, Todd McFarlane, but we're ready for San Diego Comic-Con. I'm ready to see some of this stuff. I always try to set my expectations because I'm like, oh, I'm going to see all this stuff. And I think one thing a lot of us wrestling fans need to understand is, too, we found it out over the last couple of years. It rings very true. Unless Mattel has these guys, or I should say, unless WWE has these characters, whoever it is, under a Legends deal, we're not getting figures of them. So I can see people out there saying, you know, I want to get the Road Warriors, get me the Road Warriors. Well, they're not under a deal. And unfortunately for us, this is my guess, this is my gut saying here, we're not going to see just a Road Warriors as a surprise from Mattel, because guess what? They sign a Legends deal. What happens when a Legends deal gets signed? We see them in this card game from WWE. You see some t-shirt merchandise, or you get a full-on announcement from WWE ahead of time. It's not going to be like, oh, we're going to surprise you with an action figure at San Diego Comic-Con. That's not going to happen. But that being said, we've had a lot of Legends, for example, signed over the last 6-7 months. Have to think we're going to see some of them here in the future and at San Diego Comic-Con, be it render or actual prototype. So we'll stay tuned for that, but you got to set your expectations. You can't just say, I hope we see Macho Man, Legion of Doom, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But there's some cool stuff we could see, and here's my list in no particular order. Here's what I think we're going to see. Here's what I want to see, and we'll dive into it. And of course, there's a million things I want to see, so I'm sure I'll leave something off, and I'm sure somebody's going to say something in the comments, and please do put it in the comments what you hope that we see at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. But we do know there is a panel. There's going to be a panel on Thursday. It's usually about an hour long or so. Always a lot of stuff at the panel. Obviously, you see a lot of stuff on the show floor, but the panel is where you get the pipeline announcements. You get some of the renders for the future. Remember back last year, we saw All Ego Ethan Page, now just hitting like the ring sides of the world. So it takes about a full year from what we'll see with these renders. But you got to think there's a lot of new talent from the WWE. I got to think we're going to see a lot of new renders of the, the new Bloodline and stuff, the JC Mateos of the world. I'm sure we could possibly see some renders of them at San Diego Comic-Con. We'll see what happens. But the panel does have Julia on there. So right off the bat, we're getting a figure, be it a main event, an ultimate, maybe an elite most likely. That is coming. We're going to get something there. Jey Uso, also going to be on the panel. No stranger to action figures. It's been basically the year of Jey Uso. We're going to get another Ultimate Edition Elite or something with Jey Uso. Wouldn't be shocked to see something with a title belt shown off saying, hey, to celebrate his championship victory, of course. Jacob Fatu is there. A lot of rumors there's going to be an Ultimate Jacob Fatu. Imagining we'll see that there. So we got Jey Uso, Julia, Jacob Fatu at the panel. The rest of the Mattel team, Steve and Bill will be there, of course. And I believe Sam Roberts is the MC of that. And then they've teased there's going to be a special guest. And my gut, once again, Todd, you might have told me this is happening because Todd's also involved with this individual. It is Peacemaker himself, John Cena. I think he will be the special guest on the panel. It makes a lot of sense because the Peacemaker event is there. There's a lot of Peacemaker hubbub going around. Is that fair, Todd McFarlane? Okay, yeah. And Todd said he's working with him. And Todd, you got a Peacemaker figure coming out, so we'll be ready for that as well. I fully expect John Cena to be on this panel. That'll be a very, very cool surprise for a lot of people. Can't wait to see that. There is like a meet and greet after if you were one of the lottery winners, and I was not the lottery winner, of course, as usual, but they will have a picture thing and stuff going on over at the Mattel booth for that, with some of these guys and gals in Julia's case there. So they will be on the panel, so fully expect to see figures from them. And obviously John Cena, it's the year of John Cena. 2025, tons of Cena figures. 2026, be just as many Cena figures with figures from his last run on top of the classic ones as well. So be interested to see where the panel goes. A lot of news will come out of that. And once again, I'll be there. I'll cover it all on the channel. And then I will do a follow-up video when I do get home from San Diego next week, I guess. So panelist figures is a sure thing, I have to imagine. And I got to imagine a lot of John Cena figures announced at the panel, but we'll also see some at the booth as well. So we'll be ready for that. Now, it'll be very interesting to see at the San Diego Comic-Con. I'm fully expecting them to announce maybe the winner of the funding contest, or it's not even funding, I guess, what they're going to make contest. Of course, remember, it was the Punjabi prison, the old school, or I guess new school, steel cage, just plain old steel cage, and then 2 elimination chambers, as we do know. So you get the classic elimination chamber and the more modern elimination chamber. It looks like Mattel is going to make one of these. We all got to vote for, was it our 2 favorites, something like that? I fully expect we'll see the announcement, or they'll announce the winner of that, or maybe even have a prototype there at the show. I guess we'll wait and see. Have to imagine it's not going to be the Punjabi prison. I think it's going to be just the traditional steel cage or one of the elimination chambers. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I'm excited for it. So we'll see that. As far as playsets go, there'll be something about that. Also have to imagine wrecking vehicles. That's been pretty popular the last couple of years. We've got like the big rig. We've got the ambulance. We've got sports cars. We've got motorcycles. I wonder, will this year be the year we finally get a limousine or maybe an SUV? We see a lot of SUVs, of course, on WWE programming. I could see a 4-door SUV as a possibility this year for the Wrecking Line. I think that one or the limo would sell very well. It'd be cool to get that limo, put some horns on the end. Maybe it's JBL's limo or something. So there's meat on the bone there. And then, of course, with the wrecking vehicles, there's always the opportunity for other toy lines, G.I. Joe Classified guys buying some of those things. So we'll see what happens there, but I fully expect some kind of a wrecking announcement. We usually see something like that, be it at the panel or on the show floor. So we'll stay tuned to that, but I would love to see an SUV or a limo this time around. Jesse Ventura, of course, one of the most popular performers of all time, right, Todd? We all know that. No conspiracy here with that one. I'm here. I'm ready. They announced Jesse Ventura a while back. He's in part of Saturday Night's main event. There's so many opportunities for Jesse Ventura looks. Coliseum Collection Ultimate, of course, from his wrestling days. I could see a Legends wrestling figure. I could see another Tales from the Territory if they want to go down that road again with the Jesse Ventura. But I think the majority of people are looking for the conspiracy theory Jesse Ventura figure. Great show on True TV once upon a time. That's what we want. We want bald Jesse with the mustache and in a full suit. That's the Jesse Ventura we all want. What? Some don't. I can't believe that. But I would love to see that one. Maybe that's a custom you have to make yourself. But you got to think the majority of people are wanting announcer Jesse. And there's so many different looks over the years. You can stick those in Elites, Legends lines, of course, the Ultimate line. Heck, why not? Main event style line. Even a modern day Jesse Ventura from current day Saturday Night's main event I would end up taking. So there is so much meat on the bone with Jesse Ventura. Even in like the Superstars, the Retro. I mean, there's so many things they can do with Jesse Ventura. And it's one of those things, so many Jesse figures, so little time. How long is this Legends contract for? If it's only for like 2 years, we're going to be undated with Jesse Ventura figures. If it's a 5-year thing, maybe it's a little slower rollout, but there is so much meat on the Jesse Ventura bone that they could make. But it's interesting to think. I'm sitting here preaching to the choir. I know you guys watching this, and you gals too, you want some Jesse Ventura. But I think there's a lot of people out there, younger clientele. We always got to remember there's young kids collecting these. I don't know if Jesse Ventura sets the world on fire for everyone. If you're an old fan of wrestling, of course, you're a fan of Jesse, you're going to love it. But a lot of young kids out there collecting Elites, like, who's this old guy? The old guy from Saturday Night's main event. It's weird to think that in our head, but it is true. So it'll be interesting how hard, how heavy Mattel goes in on Jesse Ventura figures, but I'm here for that. And speaking of Jesse, Legend of Legends, of course, we got other Legends, and we've had some announcements over the last year. I fully expect to see prototypes, renders, and all points in between of some of these characters at San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe more on the render side. We'll see what happens. But of course, we had a lot of legends announced as signing legends deals. King Kong Bundy, Demolition, Mr. Fuji, Tito Santana, Coco Beware, and all points in between. I know I'm missing a few, but I fully expect to see some of them coming to the Legends line, the Elites line, all those other ones. Coliseum collection as well. We know Demolition and Mr. Fuji is coming to the Legends line. Have to imagine maybe a Mr. Fuji Axe 2-pack for the Coliseum collection. WWE Superstars writes itself for those guys. Wouldn't even be shocked to see retro versions of them in the future as well. So I think there's a lot of meat on the bone for those legends. I just hope they can get those out. And I fully expect to see either the figures or renders of these characters here. And the nice thing about like Demolition, King Kong Bundy, Tito Santana, those guys probably could be fast-tracked a little bit easier because Mattel has made them before. So they could take some of that, put a few tweaks to them, put it out in the greatest hits, put it out from the vault line, things like that if they wanted to. I fully expect that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be shocked to see Ringside Collectibles. There's always an announcement of a new Ringside Collectible exclusive. I would not be shocked to see Demolition Ultimate Edition 2-pack as a Ringside collectible. We've seen the Dudleys. Now, you kind of think, why would they give it to Ringside? They gave a heavy hitter like the Dudleys to Ringside. They gave some of these other ones. I could see it maybe being an Elite 2-pack too. I mean, it could be like the Usos or the Outsiders. I mean, some heavy hitter 2-packs have went to Ringside. They could possibly do that with a Demolition release in the Ultimate Edition line, or at worst an Elite. And there is meat on the bone for Demolition, different face paints. Of course, you got the Crush years as well, which I'm fully expecting to see Crush. That's another one they can fast track in. There's a lot of meat there. There's a lot of meat there with these legends. And once again, a lot of us watching this, the guys and gals, we're here for the legends, but we also got to remember some of the younger characters out there. Younger characters, younger kids, younger collectors, more like it, that, maybe they don't want Demolition. I would hope they do, but it's going to be interesting. There's really a changing of the guard, and it's weird. I thought maybe a year or 2 years ago we saw more of a changing of the guard into the Ruthless Aggression era, but for whatever reason, that didn't capture people's hearts like the 80s and 90s, and the 80s and 90s still holding on pretty strong. We're peppering in a few of the more Ruthless Aggression stuff, but I don't think they still, to this day, sell like some of the legends of yesteryear. How about? But speaking of the legends of right now, you know how it is with Mattel. They're going to give us some of these deep cut characters. They're fans like us, but the heavy hitters that are on WWE programming every single day. You're going to see more figures of them. Chelsea Green Ultimate Edition, they've already teased that one. We'll probably see a little bit more on that one for the future. You got to think the Tiffany Strattons of the world are going to be out there. Penta, Rey Fenix, we're going to see some of them here at San Diego Comic-Con. And then, of course, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, John Cena once again. You're going to see all of them. They got to pepper those ones in. Those are the current stars. They have to have some of those characters in every single lineup, be it Elites, main events, Ultimates. You get the point by there. So we're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of us are like, oh, here's another Cody, especially me. I love Cody. Good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes. But I'm hoping we see a new Cody head sculpt at this one. I hope we see something new for Cody, because I think they've got the mileage out of all these head sculpts by now. We need to see something new. We need to freshen that up. I hope we see some of that there. So we'll stay tuned, but we're going to hit all those heavy hitters, the Bloodline characters, LA Knight. They're all going to be a part of this. So there's no doubt about it. So we'll see. But I'm also hoping for some deep cut legends. Of course, I'm a legends guy. I'm a classic guy at the end of the day. One I would love to see is Jerry the King Lawler. I always loved Jerry the King Lawler in wrestling. I would love to see that old school Jerry the King Lawler. Heck, put him on a horse, but him in all white. I always loved him in all white with that little goatee just at the bottom of his chin. I always thought that was an amazing look for Jerry Lawler. I would love to see that in a legends line. I don't know if it's possible. I'd love to see the Ultimate Warrior. Speaking of Jerry Lawler, give me that Ultimate Warrior with like the black face paint and the hat on where he got the picture hit over his head. I would love to see that Ultimate Warrior. And maybe they're saving that for the 40th anniversary of the Ultimate Warrior here in a couple of years. Maybe that's the case there. But I would love to see that one. There's just a lot of those deeper cuts. And one deeper cut, which once again goes back to what I said at the beginning, but I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed. I would love to see some tag teams started and tag teams finished. Of course, we just got Billy Gunn. Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe Bart Gunn will be signed. I don't think so, but I would love to see it, to get a Bart Gunn. Get me a Brawl for All Bart Gunn. Midnight Express Bart Gunn. I would love to see that. But then, why can't I get a Bob Holly? There's all these other characters we'd love to see, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to be surprised at San Diego Comic-Con with one of these. It's going to come off WWE's website or something like that. But We'd love to see a Bart gun to go with the Billy gun. I guess the Recruit head's going to have to suffice for now. Another one I would love to see that really writes itself, and I've been on Bill McKenna over there from Mattel. I've been mentioning this the last couple of years. I think it's easy to do. Give us a Ron Simmons Doom figure, and then make the second head the masked head. Then we can buy 2 of those and have at least Doom in their mask, because we don't have Butch Reed. I mean, if they sign Butch Reed, that's great. There's a lot of Butch Reed. I'd love, give me that blonde-haired Butch Reed from back in the day. Old Hacksaw, the original Hacksaw, I think. But Butch Reed would be great, but if they can't do that, give us Ron Simmons in the Legends line from Doom. Give us that second head, and we'll kind of feel like we have Doom in our collection. I think that's an easy layup. I hope they do that. It'd be great to see that one there. There's also returning stars and new stars we'd like to see that I wouldn't be shocked to see. Rusev is one of them. We've had a ton of figures back in the day. They could easily put that in the vault or a greatest hits line, something like that. So Rusev is one. I've been wanting the Creed brothers for like 4 years now. I can't believe we haven't got them. Have to imagine we'll see some of that here. I think Ivy Nile's already been announced for the future, so the Creed brothers got to be coming. I'd love to see some NXT talent, and I do think, at least in the renders at minimum, we're going to see a lot of NXT talent in the future. I got to imagine Zarya, Sol Ruka, Ricky Saints. I think that one could be coming. Lyra Valkyria's got to be a shoe in there with her being the Intercontinental Champion. Same thing with Chelsea Green being the first U.S. champion. I got to think that'll be represented in Elite. We know we have an Ultimate coming. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff coming. I've also been talking about it for a long time, the TNA Legends line. I think there's going to be some TNA stuff eventually. It just writes itself at this point. There is a partnership there. I said it last, was it November, December. I had heard they were already looking at starting to move this stuff. I know Mattel has said that isn't, but sometime when there's smoke, there's some fire. Wouldn't be shocked to see an Abyss figure, at least in AJ Styles. I could see that moving forward. You know, the Motor City Machine Guns is another one I could see mixed in here. So we'll see where that all ends up going. And then, of course, I can't forget guys like Terry Funk. I would love to see Terry Funk, and then I'm going to throw the Great Muta in with this as well. Got to think Terry Funk and the Great Muta. Bill McKenna is a huge fan of both of them. We just got Legends releases of both of them. As I'm filming right now, the street date has been lifted on those. So if you're after those, head to Target. But I have to imagine we'll see more Great Muta. We'll see more Terry Funk figures. I'm hoping specifically in the Superstars and Retro department. I would love to see the next 4-pack of Retros be maybe an NWA theme, something like that. I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to put the pen to paper. But I think a Great Muta Retro and a Terry Funk Retro is a no-brainer. So I would love to see those two, as well as in the Superstars line. Of course, we just got 2 Great Muta Superstars. Would love to see Terry Funk in the Superstars line. We'll see where that ends up happening. I just think there's a lot of meat on the bone there. Maybe it's just me being a Terry Funk Uber fan. Who knows? But I could see that one coming into the Superstars line with Terry Funk. I think it writes itself at this point. And I hope we get more Terry Funks. We'll see what happens there. And then another one, I guess last for kind of my notes of what I'm hoping to see specifically. Obviously, I'm hoping to see everything, especially new things. But one I can't believe we haven't seen already is an Ultimate Edition Biker Taker. We've had so many Undertaker Ultimates, but no Biker Taker Ultimates. So I have to think that's got to be on the horizon eventually. We do know Undertaker Ultimate is coming this fall. Check out, I already got an early advanced copy from Mattel. Check out that video if you missed it. Shawn Michaels hitting the stores right now. What is the future Target exclusive going to be? I don't know, but I would love to see a Biker Taker, but it kind of, to me, I don't really think they go back-to-back takers, but you never do know on things like that. There's also, of course, the Legends line, the Monday Night War lines. Where are we going from there? How deep are we going? That's a great way to get some deep cut characters like Albert, for instance, into the set. Have to imagine, hopefully that continues. Now, we know about Walmart. They are very, hey, we want something new. We want something fresh. We'll see what happens there. The Legends line's been going on quite some time as well at Target. Hopefully those are continuing on. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But there's a lot of characters we can get. But no matter how you slice it, there is a lot of opportunity for a lot of great figures from Mattel. Obviously, Jazzwares, all the other companies are making wrestling figures, but Mattel is the big dog, as we do know. And I'm very excited to see where San Diego Comic-Con 2025 goes, as it gives us the roadmap into 2026 and maybe even beyond. So we're going to see what goes on there. Like I said, I'll be there, boots on the ground, covering it all, checking it all out. And we'll do a follow-up video probably when I get back from San Diego in a week or so, something like that. What is time, as we always say. But it should be a very exciting San Diego Comic-Con. Very interested to see if any of these do come true. But what are you hoping comes true? What are you looking for at San Diego Comic-Con? Let me know in the comments down below. Be interested to hear what you're hoping to see. Put a top 5 in there. The 5 things I'm hoping to see. Something like that. Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. Check out Patreon, check out YouTube channel memberships as well. Don't forget social media. You want to follow me on social media for, of course, San Diego Comic-Con, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. And of course, that is my weekly podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every single Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So there it is for my San Diego Comic-Con wish list. You know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way to San Diego.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Get that wheel to time.